Title: A Love Lost, A Legacy Endures. The sterile scent of antiseptic filled the halls of General Hospital, the beeping of machines a constant reminder of the thin line between life and death. It was supposed to be a day of joy, a moment of triumph. But fate had other plans. Molly Lansing Davis sat in the dimly lit waiting room, her fingers trembling around the styrofoam coffee cup she hadn't touched. The day had started with panic. Their child, barely a few months old, had gone missing. A parent's worst nightmare had come to life, and TJ Ashford had vowed to bring their baby back. He had kept his promise. But at what cost? Dr. Portia Robinson emerged from the emergency room, her face weary with the weight of the news she bore. Molly stood instinctively, her heart in her throat, as Portia took a breath. "We did everything we could." The words hit like a freight train. The world around Molly blurred as she tried to comprehend their meaning. No. He's strong. He made it back. Portia's eyes shone with unshed tears. Molly? TJ was hurt worse than he let on. The internal bleeding, he didn't make it. A strangled sob broke free from Molly's lips. She shook her head violently, refusing to accept it. No. You have to go back. Try again. He was just here. He held our baby. Her knees buckled, and the only thing keeping her from collapsing was Jordan Ashford, who had stepped forward just in time. The former commissioner, a woman who had seen and endured so much, now grieved the loss of her son. Together, mother and wife clung to each other, their sorrow merging into one unbearable storm of loss. Hours blurred into days. The funeral was a haze. Faces she barely recognized offering condolences she couldn't hear. Sam, Christina, Alexis. Her family tried to hold her together, but nothing could mend what had been torn apart. Molly lay awake in their bed, the scent of TJ still lingering on his pillow. Beside her, in a crib that had once been filled with love and laughter, lay their child, fatherless now, but so blissfully unaware. She traced her fingers over the baby's tiny hand, fresh tears slipping down her cheeks. "Your daddy was a hero," she whispered. "He loved you more than anything. And I have to be strong for you." Molly had always been strong. She had fought for justice, for her beliefs, for her family. But this was different. This was survival. And she had no choice but to go on. Time moved forward, as it always did. Molly returned to work, juggling the demands of being a mother and a grieving widow. Every corner of Port Charles held a memory of TJ. The diner where they used to meet for late-night study sessions, the pier where he had proposed, the hospital where he had saved countless lives. And then there was Jordan, a woman who had lost her only son. The two women, bound by love and loss, found solace in each other. Jordan became a second mother to the baby, pouring every ounce of her heart into making sure TJ's child knew his father's legacy. But grief had a way of sneaking up when least expected. One night, Molly stood at the waterfront, staring at the dark waves that crashed against the docks. "I don't know if I can do this without him," she admitted, barely above a whisper. A voice came from behind her. "You don't have to do it alone." Turning, she found herself face to face with Curtis Ashford, TJ's uncle. He, too, had suffered loss. But his eyes held something she hadn't seen in her own reflection: hope. "TJ would want you to keep living," Curtis said gently. "For your baby. For yourself. And we're all here to help you." Molly inhaled shakily, glancing at the sky. Somewhere, somehow, she hoped TJ could hear her. "I love you," she whispered to the wind. "And I promise, I won't give up." Life after loss was never easy, but Molly carried TJ's love with her. In their child's laughter, in the stories she would tell, in the memories she would never let fade. His legacy endured, not just in the hospital halls where he once saved lives, but in the heart of the woman who would never stop loving him. And as she held their baby close, she knew that while TJ was gone, his love would never leave them. The fight wasn't over. Their story was far from finished.